I'm back with another Benton action figure review. Today's video is a little bit shorter. I've only got 3 figurines I'm going to be talking about. Usually I do 4, but today is just 3. We got Spidermonkey, Goop, and Alien X, the big man himself. So let's dive right into that. Here is Spidermonkey. Spidermonkey's one that I think looks like one of the least alien looking aliens of the series, of really the whole franchise. I mean, yeah, he's got the extra eyes and the extra legs, extra arms, but really he's basically just a monkey. So he's not quite as alien as a lot of the other aliens, but he's still pretty cool. So head turn does go all the way around 360, and it does like actually go front and back, which I don't even think we've seen that yet in any of these figurines in any of my videos. So not only do you have that 360 turn around there, you can actually push his head up and down. It's not very far, there's not much movement there, but he does have a bit more movement in that neck. He's got a different kind of joint in there that allows for some extra movement. The arms are 360. You kind of have to push by the secondary arms here, but it does go all the way around. And then there's no more articulation in the arm there, nothing in the elbow or wrist. And then the secondary arms are the same, just the shoulder, nothing else in the arm. And they can go 360, but again, you really kind of have to push around these other arms, which once you get to this arm, it kind of becomes pretty difficult. But I'm sure you could push it if you wanted to do that hard enough. The back legs, they do go forward and back, and then that's all for the back legs, nothing else, nothing in the knee or ankle or anything like that. And then his tail does not have any articulation. It's a bendy plastic, so I mean you can kind of bend it, but as for like actually moving it with articulation and like moving it so it'll stay there, it doesn't have anything, because you can bend it, but it'll just go back into place. So honestly, articulation on this guy is kind of disappointing, just because it's Spidermonkey. I mean, he's like one of Ben's most agile, flexible aliens, constantly, you know, jumping around, climbing walls and swinging and stuff. And to have such a lack of articulation in the arms and the legs and even the tail, kind of disappointing. It would have been nice to have more posing options for him. I mean, nothing in the elbow. It's kind of weird, considering a lot of these other figurines in the Alien Force wave do have that elbow articulation. An alien like Spidermonkey definitely should have had that. But otherwise, like I said, the head moving up and down is kind of nice. But so the paint and detail though looks really good. He's one of those aliens, I've said it before with other ones, that it's kind of hard to mess up, because he's just like one solid color. I mean, it's like basically 2 different colors of blue, and that's about it. So kind of hard to mess up the paint and stuff like that. But the sculpt also looks very good. You can see they actually sculpted some of that fur. You can see the sculpting here on his arms. The paint on the black parts of the fur looks really good. Everything's in line. The face looks really good. Let me wait for that to focus here. But they did a really good job on the face with all the details. He's got multiple eyes. They even sculpted his teeth in there. The nostrils are sculpted. The eyes are actually like raised in texture. They're not just painted on. The hair looks really good. You've got all that line detailing there. So the head itself is done very nicely. The tail has some indentations and sculpting, so it's not just painted on. So I think they did a really good job on the actual structure and the sculpting of this figurine. It's just, like I said, kind of disappointing to have that lack of articulation with an alien like Spidermonkey. So, next alien in this review is one of my personal favorites, one of my top 3 for Alien Force. We've got Goop. I don't think he's really a lot of people's favorites. I don't know, I just really like him. I think he is kind of a unique concept. He's just a single cell blob, and the whole like anti-gravity UFO I think is really unique, clever character design. So he's always been one of my favorites. But as you can see, the scaling on here is pretty accurate. Spidermonkey about goes up to Goop's shoulders, which I think is pretty accurate. So Goop does have a 360 head swivel, so his head goes all the way around. And the arms do have the shoulder that goes all the way around with the elbow joint. So it's kind of odd to me that a character like Goop has that elbow articulation. He's somewhat more articulated than Spidermonkey. But moving on, there's nothing else down there, nothing in the wrist. And the legs have the typical hip movement. They go up about 90 degrees and then back actually about another 90 degrees. It's pretty far there. And then nothing else in the feet. He actually has some sculpted knees, but there is no knee joint there, nothing in the feet. I guess I don't know if he doesn't really have ankles, but so just the hip joint there that's it for articulation. So pretty standard articulation on this guy. The sculpt and detailing, so one big obvious thing you can tell is that he is see-through. You can see my hand there through him. I think that's pretty cool, very fitting for the character. He's Goop, he's just pile of slime that can talk. And they did show him to be see-through at times in the show. So I think that is fitting for the toy. They did they didn't really have the detailing of the different shades of green on his body. They don't have that on him. It's one solid green. Because in the cartoon, the actual character, he has like different little blobs of shades of green. He's got like different ones on his arms and his chest. It's just like little blobs within him. I'm not sure, but the toy does not have that. I'll kind of try and throw in a picture there to reference what I'm talking about. But this is just one solid green. So it's cool that they made him see-through. It makes him seem more goopy and slimy. But they did kind of miss out on some of the body detailing by doing that. I'm not sure why they couldn't have added that detailing and just made that see-through too, but I don't know. Otherwise, everything else on this looks really good. As you can tell, one big part of him is his UFO attachment here. So this does come out. You can see that's it's sculpted and painted pretty well. It's got all the little paint detailing of the yellow and black parts. And it's just hooked onto this clear plastic attachment. The UFO does not come off that attachment, but the attachment does come off of Goop's body. You can see he's got that hole there and it just plugs in. So that is a piece to look for if you're buying this secondhand through eBay or anything. Make sure he has this, especially for a character like Goop. This is like a vital part of his character. Like he can't stand, or he doesn't have his body form without this. It's what holds him up. So it is a pretty important part to have. The sculpt on this is a little weird. I don't know why they have this little prong there. If they were trying to make this kind of seem Goopish too, like it was an extension of his body or something. I'm not sure, because it seems like they could have just had that be one solid piece, but they have this little prong there. I don't know what they were doing there. But otherwise, I mean, there's not much else to this guy. Pretty simple character. You can see the eyes there. They are just painted on. They're not sculpted on the trick symbol. Mine's a little faded. You can see his fingers and hands and everything are sculpted well. Like I said, he's got some knees there. The bottom of the underside of his feet, it's just hollow. But I like it. Like I said, he's one of my favorite Alien Force aliens, so I think they did a pretty good job with him. The only minor complaint I had was that like paint detailing they missed out on, but otherwise I think they did a really good job, and I like the way they incorporated this UFO. I think it looks better that they attached it this way than like, because they could have attached it directly to the top of his head with a plastic piece, but the way they did it here, it makes it look more like it's kind of floating there. If you angle him right and look at him straight forward, kind of looks more like this thing's just floating there. So I think he was done pretty well. Now the next alien and the last one for this review is Ben's most powerful alien by far, basically a god, Alien X. You can see him there next to Goop. I think Alien X should maybe be a little taller. I think he's typically, in my opinion, he's shown to be like, you know, a big buff space guy. So I think he should be a little bit taller and bigger than Alien, or bigger than Goop, but not too bad there on the scaling. Alien X. So this is like obviously the most powerful alien in the entire Ben 10 franchise. I mean, he's essentially a god. I mean, there's no like tiptoeing around it. He can do anything, alter reality. He's just like such a cool alien. And this action figure, I think they did pretty well on it. So he does have the head swivel, does turn around 360, and then he's got the shoulder joints that go all the way around, the elbow joints that go up and down, and then the hip joints, they do move up and they go just a little bit back. You can see like just a quarter of an inch back, just barely. And then the knee joints do bend. And then that's it for articulation. Super standard. I mean, nothing special there. He does have every point that they typically offer, but just very standard articulation on this guy. So he's got some really cool body detailing. One weird thing is he is see-through, so you can see my hand behind there, kind of like Goop. He's see-through. I don't know why they did that. He was never shown to be see-through in the series. I don't know if it was just they were trying to add to the outer space galaxy effect of this guy. I don't know. I don't know if maybe they made a version of him where he was solid. Maybe there is an action figure of him like that, and I just happen to have the see-through one, but he is see-through, so it's kind of weird. You can see like on his legs there, his arms. It's not like totally out of place. I guess like I said, it kind of makes sense if they're trying to emphasize the whole galaxy aspect of this character. But in the series, we never saw anything like that. But they did the star effect really well. I think you can see all the little stars all over his body. It's just glitter. They put glitter into the plastic of his body to mimic that star effect. But I think it looks really good. Like I think they did it well, and it's better than like if they had tried to paint every little star on his body. I think that would have probably not looked too good. Throwing this glitter in there actually looks pretty good. So I think they did an awesome job on and on the like making him look like outer space. The see-through's a little weird, but they made up for it with the glitter and the star effect. So the sculpt on him, I mean, he's super basic. Just a buff muscle guy with the prongs on the head. There's not much to Alien X, but they did it well. You can see that sculpted on his head, his little horns or whatever. His eyes are painted on there. Now, Alien X, if you're kind of going based off the series, he's not one that, he has all this articulation, but it's like, do you need to use it? Because in the series, he typically just stands there stiff like this. Maybe he'll move an arm up or something, but for the most part, I mean, if you're opposing this guy, that's basically all you need to do. So, yeah, I think for being the most powerful alien, they did him justice. I think it looks pretty good. Look at his booty there. So yeah, that is it for this video. Let me get all these figurines back up here. That wraps up today's video. That was another Ben 10 action figure review. The next video I'm going to put out will also have 3 figurines instead of the normal 4 I usually do. So the next 3 will be Lodestar, Wrath, and Nanomech. So I'll have that up on my channel next week. Keep an eye out for it. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys later.